Cub, you shocked me. I did not see that coming. We went to Top Golf in Vegas we were at TwitchCon, and we, you know, I'm not a very good golfer, and you're not a very good golfer.
No.
We just putt around, but Cub walks up with all the humility of what Cub is. And I guess it's my turn to take a swing at this, and he crushes that ball. And it is an absolute sniper shot, just straight down. I'm just like, what did I just witness? And you were so consistent and so good. And that's when I got to learn that you had a legitimate background in it.
Yes. Yeah. So I played several years. I think all 4 years of high school. I think I played on the school team. And, you know, we went to the state tournament, all that stuff. So we were pretty good.
Welcome back to the show. There's no telling where we'll go. So come and share a laugh on the Imp and Skizz podcast.
All right, another show and another guest. We're on a roll.
Dude, people, I'm loving every bit
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, it's great. We've got the amazing Cubfan 135 in the house. Welcome, Cub. Good to have you here, my friend.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And so I guess we need to start off with, introduce him to the audience, just in case. I mean, everybody needs to know.
Some people are going to assume that he's a fan of baseball and the Cubs. Some people might think you like baby bears. We don't know. We want to learn. We want to hear from Cub. Tell us about yourself. Introduce yourself to anybody who doesn't know who you are.
Okay, well, I'm Cubfan135. Been playing Minecraft for, so long that I don't even know how long. 13, 14 years now, probably.
Jeez.
Quite a long time. Since before the 1.0 release. And yeah, I've upload videos on YouTube. I stream on Twitch. Mostly, Minecraft, but some other games here and there. And then I do in Minecraft a bunch of different things: speed running, redstone, survival. Complained to the devs a lot about some things that I think should change in the game. That type of stuff. So sort of a jack of all trades within Minecraft, but that's my primary game.
I was looking up some of your channel stats on Social Blade, and it said that you created your YouTube channel in like 2006. What were you, like 5 years old?
That's right. Yes, I was in high school still, actually. And I think the year that YouTube came out was the year I created my channel. So it's one of the original channels. I think I had my 18th anniversary just the other day.
Oh my!
And I was like, wow, 18 years ago. That instantly I became old. I started drooping a little bit. You get that feeling. You're just like, oh man, it's been
He sees
so
his
long.
first gray hair in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, here it comes.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
Well, that's
Exactly.
awesome. I mean, it begs the question. So, I mean, you created your channel when you were in high school. What were your ambitions at that point? What was the reasoning behind it?
Well, at that point, it was just a cool site to be on. Like, it was just people look at this site. People can upload whatever they want to this YouTube thing, whatever. And there was no like YouTubers, so to speak. Nobody did it professionally. It was all just uploading, basically home videos.
Yeah.
To
Charlie
the
bit my
site.
finger, I think, right?
Exactly,
Back
yeah.
then, you could have had one of those viral clips that you wouldn't get paid for, because back then nothing was monetized either, right? It was
Exactly.
just for fun.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
that makes a lot of sense, because I had no idea really what YouTube was back in the day.
Right.
And the very first channel I created this like montage video I put together for I'm forgetting his name. I'm always mess up his name. One of the greatest fighters of all time.
UFC fighter.
And I put it out there, and it I liked it. It was this edited video. And then I started uploading a bunch of videos of my son when playing football. And apparently people were subscribing to me, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, who are you? So I had no idea that there was such a thing as subscribers.
Watching his kid play football.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of that. Now, listen, we've learned, Cub, through a lot of people who are doing Minecraft, and Minecraft is their main thing. There seems to be this common thread that everybody started with Call of Duty. Did you just start right with Minecraft, or did you do other stuff on YouTube first?
I started with Minecraft, actually. I was not one of the Call of Duty people.
All right.
Yeah.
Against Call of Duty people, but I mean, we haven't had one yet, so
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm actually one of those people who saw the Yogscast back when they did their Shadow of Israfel series. Saw what they did with Minecraft and how they did like this role-playing thing, and you couldn't really tell what was real and what they made up for a brief time. And so I sort of followed them, and I'm like, hey, that seems pretty cool. I can do that. And then I just went from there, got together with a group of people, and then another group of people, and then on and on and on until today. So
wow, there you go. That's That makes sense because one thing that you're associated with is being the king of grind. And to hear that he started with he's basically been Minecrafting from day one.
He's been grinding for 14 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to dig a little bit into, because I'm having the good fortune to be on the Hermitcraft server with you this season. And I'm watching some of the things you're doing. And Cub, I got to tell you, I don't get it, dude. I don't understand how you do things where I'm like, there's one thing in regards to being dedicated enough to take the time, but I'm doing the math and I'm like, I feel like if I was just at this 24 hours a day for months, I would be 10% of the progress that he was able to pull off on this. Bring us through the Cub mind. Where do you go when you are doing these tremendously large scale projects that are just, when you look at it from the outside, it seems like it just would consume your entire life, but you just seem to lock in. Walk us through what your mind is doing, because I got to know. I need the secret.
Well, I mean, first of all, I think it's important that people realize, at least I do this full time. I think you guys are both now full time, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we have a lot of extra time that normal, quote unquote, normal people don't have, So that's one thing. So it's important to know we have a lot of hours to do these things. And then it's just basically, I've been playing this game for a long time, so I know a lot of the best, methods to do things and the most efficient ways to do things. And I've tested out a lot of things to figure out what the best way is, right?
Yeah.
So that sort of helps a lot. But then it's just like wanting to get stuff done, wanting to show cool stuff. I mean, I want people to watch the videos, and if I'm not making something incredible, like, why would people watch? So
Yeah.
you want to be entertaining and you want to make great things. So like, you have to just get it done sometimes,
All right. So, but this season, I want to talk about your labyrinth. Okay. Just so for anybody who doesn't know,
You haven't made it all the way through his labyrinth.
I've only, it's like
You don't get to talk about the labyrinth until you make it to the end.
It's my show. I get to talk about this guy, Mr. Cub, Rub-a-Dub Cub, has created something so insane. And I was watching Joel try to go through it yesterday, and Joel, who we know is very competitive and very good, was losing his mind. And
was he really?
He had some choice words for
surprising.
you. Cub.
Yeah, I think
Wow,
he probably
okay,
had choice words for you at the same spot I had choice words for you, but you were there to hear him.
He says to me, Skizz, how can Cub do this to me? Because he was losing his mind. And I said, because he goes, he seems like such a nice guy. And I said, he goes, but he's so evil. I said, yeah, there's a word for that. I said, he's maniacal. That's what that is. You are the epitome of speak softly and carry a big stick. Please take me through your design process for the labyrinth, because it is just an insane enigma.
Okay, so Joe has a region called the Holmdel region where he wants people to come in and fill in his enormous 1,000,000+ stone area that he's been digging out. And so I agreed to make something there, but I wasn't quite sure what. I knew I wanted to build a labyrinth, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to put in it. So it started out as just a pure maze. I was going to make the whole thing a maze, and I was like, you know what? We can do more. And so then I put in the trivia and the key finding, and I was like, this is good, but maybe we add a little more. So we added in the slime block jumps and the honey block slide. And then I was like, you know what? We can keep going with this. And I just kept adding more, vine hangs, mob dodging, all this other stuff. So it was kind of like I had an idea of a labyrinth, like the whole like general concept, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to put in. And so I sort of found it along the way as I was building it.
I like
it.
that.
It is.
That was kind of a cool way.
Quite the challenge. How fast do you get through your own labyrinth?
So I did it on stream, which on stream, I sort of went through and did like a dev build type thing. So I got through in about an hour or so, I think.
Okay, but if you just focused, maybe even off camera, you probably get through in less than 30 minutes. I bet.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I know all the jumps and all the tricks to do. So that's the hardest part, like figuring out exactly what the trick is in this one particular spot. So,
yeah. It's real interesting because like you'll get to a spot and it just seems impossible at first, and an hour later it seems impossible still, and you want to just rage quit. But then like 10 minutes later, suddenly something clicks, and then you have it. Like it's very challenging, and I feel like you made it to a level that was even going to be challenging for yourself, who 14 years of Minecraft, you're an expert.
Sure.
in this field at all these things in parkour and knowing how the mechanics of all these blocks work and everything like that. So I thought it was nice. Like for me, it's like I'm really into MCC and pushing myself and movement skills and parkour and everything. And I felt like that was like a nice MCC training ground that you made on Hermitcraft.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you've been through the labyrinth, I mean, nothing's going to be tougher than that at MCC or any of these other events we play, right?
I went from like 39th place in MCC. I did Cub's Labyrinth, got through it, 21st place.
There you go.
Let's go.
I got to finish this thing, man. It took me 90 minutes to get through the first 2 phases of it, dude. And it was so embarrassing. And I had the developer right there on my shoulder, like walking me through it, exactly how to do things.
I was getting so tilted, and then Jem was streaming too, and she's like, "Let's go bug impulse at the labyrinth," and I'm like, "Go away," because I couldn't handle. I was so tilted. I'm like, I can't handle any heckling right now. No, I mean, yeah, I might have been cursing your name a little bit, but honestly, it was a great time, and I love the fact that you made something so challenging that I feel like I improved as a player. I think that's really cool to have on the server.
That's great,
so well done on that, but. I mean, this is for Skizz's first season, seeing you kind of go crazy with the builds and the grind that you do. He wasn't around season 8 when you made your own biome of lava and like your volcano biome.
Sure.
I don't think have you ever
Canyon
seen
biome, volcano biome, lots of different biomes.
Yeah, you do. You like making your own biomes in Minecraft. Where did that come from?
You know, as a kid, I visited a lot of sort of like national parks throughout the U.S. You know, Yellowstone, Canyonlands National Park was a big inspiration for, in particular, the season 8 build. I went into Bryce Canyon feel with the pointed dripstone sticking out of the canyon. So that's been a big inspiration for me in my life, going to the national parks and experiencing, you know, nature in its like purest form. So I guess that's where it comes from. I'm not really sure.
You mentioned that you get on the Minecraft devs. Are you ever bugging them about adding biomes? Since hey, did you see the volcano biome I did? Just think about it, guys. Just think about it. And now this season you're doing like your own skulk biome as well. Have you've been by Cubs Base? Yes. You've seen that?
It's unbelievable.
It's just crazy. Man. Yeah. It's cool stuff. So let's talk about, we just mentioned the Minecraft developers and you talking to them, because you've had some really, really good ideas. There has been one rant that you've been reminding them about for years, and that is a certain workstation that at one point one of the developers promised that they would do something with, and to this day has not been done. Tell us what your beef is with that whole deal.
All right. So back in March 2019, back when they were doing the 1.14 Village and Pillage update, Mojang came out with a bunch of different workstations for villagers. And so they had, I want to say 10 to 15 villager workstations. And 2 of them, the smithing table and the fletching table, didn't have sort of secondary uses that the player could use. And they promised, and this was in a blog post, they promised basically to update them in the future, in a future update, like the next update. Unfortunately, that never happened. It's now been, as of this recording, about 2,045 days since they promised the fletching table functionality, and still, it's not here. So, yeah, I've been on him about that for years now. Hopefully, just around the corner. Yeah.
I know you made up that number, but I'm not entirely sure if you made up that number. I feel like
I swear he looked over at a whiteboard where there was a little tally mark.
It is very close to the exact number. Yeah, I looked it up just yesterday, actually. No.
Wow. You do not wrong Cub. He will not forget. That is amazing.
Okay. No, let's play in this space. Okay. Suddenly, they hear your rants about it, and they say, "Fine, Cub. You pretend you know how to code Minecraft. Come on board, and you are going to design what the fletching table is going to do." What would you do?
Well, there's a class of arrows. There's tipped arrows in the game that nobody really uses, that are kind of obscure. They're really tough to make. I would probably add something regarding the tipped arrows. You could make them easier somehow in the fletching table, just because that sort of ties in with like the bow and stuff like that. So something with the tipped arrows is what I would do. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
Oh,
any ideas for you guys?
I think if they could come up with different types of arrows other than just the like kind of potion effect ones, I think if there was like maybe you could craft one that instead of having like the piercing effect on a crossbow, you could craft a piercing arrow, right? It's a different tip, you know? So maybe there's different arrow recipes that if you use different materials, like maybe you make a gold tipped one and that one does like a wider damage or something. It could hit a smaller target or something. You know what I mean?
Like explosive.
Add gunpowder, make explosive arrows. So like make new arrow types in the game that aren't specifically like the tipped ones.
Here's what I would make, dude. I've been wanting this forever. Is I want to be able to shoot torches into like deep caves. Like I want to light up caves from a distance. I hate having to get all close. I'd like to be able to light it up from a distance and then go in.
Yeah. Make a recipe of light arrows or something. Right? Like torch arrows. Yeah, that would be cool. So
see, now I'm upset.
There you go.
That's it.
Multiple great ideas right there. Get on it, Mo.
Yeah. Next time you tweet, hey, it's been 2,500 days since this was promised, I will retweet it.
I will too. Hey, this is actually we've had this topic a couple times with some past guests in regards to what would you add to Minecraft, and we just covered it organically.
We did.
I want to share my idea with Cub because I respect his take on Minecraft. Cub, this is what I want. I want enchanted boats. I want the ability to enchant boats, and here's some of the enchantments. One is going to be called Rooster Tail. It's just a really, really fast boat. One's going to be called Sidecar, so you can have 3 people on the boat instead of a maximum of 2. One's going to be called Four-Wheeling, so you can, based on the enchantment level, you can go up a certain amount of pixels so that when you're going through ice fields and there's level ice, you can actually go up on the ice and back down, right? And then one's going to be called, I don't know, some kind of boat that can go on lava.
Lava walker boat.
Yeah, something to that effect. Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Interesting.
Are you listening, Mo Yang? Come on, man. What am I going to get my ideas? Listen, we dabbled on it, but I'm going to get selfish here because I could use a lot of Cub in my life in regards to basically you and I in regards to Minecraft, we are polar opposites. You have just a colossal patience for these builds that we were talking about. And my mind wanders and I just want to play around. All I want to do is play in the labyrinth. You just want to build the labyrinth, right? So all I want to do is mess around and play and everything. I need to know, what is your routine when you know you're about to go on to, actually, we're going to back up. We're going to go to a specific thing that you did on the server. And it's the firework in the shopping district, right? I literally cannot even fathom envisioning that and saying, yeah, I'll do that. Because it's the temporary blocks. I know what you had to go through to do this. I know what you had to go through. It is the most beautiful thing. It is so impressive. I would never even try to do that. So where do you go in your mind? This is a real question because I want to literally listen to what you're about to say and find a way to evolve myself to go into a place of Zen to do these bigger projects. Where do you go in your mind to pull off something like the firework boom? Because that was no joke.
That is an excellent question. Well, first of all, I have a giant. Let me see if I can show this. Yeah. All right, check this out. I got visual aid here. Here's a gigantic stack of papers where I write everything down. There's hundreds of papers here. It just keeps going.
Oh my God.
So I have all these ideas and all these plans and things for builds that I use just to sort of like map out where I want to go with things. As far as the fireworks in particular, that was a interesting thing because I started off like, do I really want to do these fireworks?
Yeah.
Right? I had like a little like rocket garden, similar to like the Apollo program rocket garden, but like way smaller scale. And I had this idea that I wanted some type of bigger rocket that would explode eventually once I reached a certain threshold. And so that is how the giant rocket exploded over the shopping district this season. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we had something that was like an in-world element that was like super visual and super large that showcased like, here's where you can get fireworks rockets. And so we draw people in that way. But I also wanted to incorporate like you guys, right? I wanted to incorporate the hermits in. So then I thought, what if we had a custom firework that I designed for each and every hermit? So I did that. And so it's basically like stacking ideas on top of one another. Each individual idea is kind of the is not all that complex, but all taken together, it makes a more complex thing.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
very
sort of
cool.
my process, just sort of stacking idea upon idea.
I just don't know, like, because you placed all those individual pieces of glass in midair with obviously helper blocks, but like that must have just felt so tedious.
That's what I want to know about. Is I want it because the ideas
Oh,
are very
yeah.
clearly good, and I feel like I have a bottomless pit of good ideas that I'm never going to do anything because my brain's like, no, that's impossible. You don't have that ability. You don't have the ability to say, no, that's impossible. You just get started. So I want to know, like, you
Right.
go into some sort of like breathing exercise to say, like, I'm gonna just find myself at peace with the fact that this is my life for the next week, 2 weeks. I don't know how long it took. How long did it take you to do the boom?
So the big firework with the glass explosion took about a week. Yeah, about a week
Jeez.
What?
of like 5-6 hour days plus.
Wow.
Wow. See that right there. That right there. And I believe him. If he said like every day, 5 to 6 hours just working on that, now I can see it taking about a week. But for me, in the way I do things, if I did that boom all season, that would have taken me all season because I'd be working on it 20 minutes at a time. I'd be like, I got to do something else. This is a very real skill set, a real strength that you have, that you're able to focus on that and just keep moving. And this is what, like, I almost want you to think about it offline and issue me a challenge. That's a small scale of what Cub can do. Come on the server, issue me a
100.
challenge and say, like it cannot be as big as Kaboom, but issue me some sort of challenge that will play in the space of what it is to be at peace with this is the grind and you will see the other side of this, because I need actual mentoring in this because I'm such a busybody. I just want to do all the things all over the place. So that this is your challenge, to issue me a challenge. Think about it and hit me up on the server.
I got one.
Ooh,
What?
already.
He's going to tell me to finish my pyramid.
Yeah.
All right, go.
No, the outside of your pyramid, Skizz. I want you to decorate the outside of it.
What?
Because the inside I think you're good on. I think you have the vision and everything.
Yeah.
Which is really important to have, but the outside, I want to see some stuff outside surrounding it.
Oh, surrounding the pyramid.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I was going, my mind was going because we literally just had this discussion with Pearl last week about you doing diesel punk.
Yep.
And he
I
could
saw- and I-
add
and I-
diesel punk flavors to the pyramid kind of decoration on the
Yeah,
exterior.
I can do that in the back
Okay.
left corner, but I'll also find a way to wrap some organic stuff around
Yeah.
the front. Okay. Challenge accepted. Okay.
Okay.
We got to stop having guests on the show.
I know,
I'm
because
too
you
Johnson.
keep making promises. He was gonna stream yesterday, and he sent out a tweet, and he's like, "Today's the day we're gonna get some work done. Check it out. I just you wait." And how much work did you get done?
Nothing.
Absolutely
Because
nothing.
everybody just wants to play and hang out.
Absolutely nothing got done.
In my defense, the second I logged in, Jem popped in front of me. She's like, "You're not going to work today at all," and she just distracted me, and I was fine.
Yeah,
with it.
now hermits have made it their mission to stop him
Yeah.
from getting anything done, so that doesn't help.
Yeah. Hey, your stack of
best.
papers there.
Yes.
Reach into the center of it, pull out a random piece of paper and point to something and tell me if you can recall, because I literally
All right.
wanted to talk about
Close
how
my eyes here. Close my eyes here. I'm gonna pick a random one.
Okay.
Oh, well, not that. Okay, that's
you...
not that one. Not that one. Not that. That one has sensitive information, passwords and stuff. All right, let's see. Okay. Yeah, you want to talk about what's on one of these random sheets? Okay,
Yeah.
we can talk about this one. All right, so in here I have a idea about the history of the Minecraft inventory.
What?
How
Oh.
players so this is like a video idea.
Okay.
Yeah, permanent expansion of the inventory now necessary. Maybe people agree with that. Maybe not. How to expand the inventory, how to respect the UI, make it easy to use and accessible, but maintain consistency with the game and future proof it. So there's some ideas on this. There's some options I list here. I also have a couple of graphs. Some things to do list from like season 8, I think, season 9. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
To-do list.
So yeah,
I
that's,
like
that's
that.
just a random thing. Yeah.
Just
There
keep
you
all
go.
those notes. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I have
Keep all the notes.
I have a Google Doc that is kind of like that's the way I do it. But you like pen and paper? That's
Sure.
That's cool.
I do like pen and paper. Yeah, I find it more like I don't know. I guess grounded. I guess that when you put stuff on online and you're looking at it through a screen, it's just not quite as real to me. I guess.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I get that. Like, when you write something down, like it definitely transfers to memory much better.
For me, it's got to be pencil. I need that vibration of the lead on the paper going through my hand.
What's also really nice is when you cross stuff off.
Oh yeah, it's a good feeling.
Like that line through it feeling is absolutely amazing.
I have a to-do list, and every time I check it off, I get,
feels good.
Feel real good about it. Feels great. Feels great. Absolutely.
So here you are. We're talking about how you're able to grind, how you're able to do these great things, but something we're not talking about, and I don't think a lot of people would instantly associate with you is how funny you are in your improv. Is that you have these moments that are they just blindside me, man. And I never saw it coming, but they're so delightful. And I can't. One of my favorites is when I think I talked about this at the house as well, is when you became the head of the shopping district, and the four of us were meeting, and you were assigning people to do things. You're like, Grian, you go take care of this, Scar, you take care of this, and then I have nothing to offer, and you're all, Skizz, you just keep on keeping on, baby. And it was just
well, you're doing a great job already. You were out there with your pig riding around the shopping district. You had the horn, the popo horn, and everything. You'd already done so much. There was nothing left for you to do, man. It was fantastic.
But I bring it up because every interaction I've had the good fortune of having with you on the server has been totally delightful. Do you any sort of theater as a kid? Did you do any sort of acting, or can you even imagine as a child? Did you ever think you'd be in the entertainment business? Because you are, like it or not, you're in the entertainment business. Did you ever see that coming? And did you do anything?
I was always sort of a goofy kid. Like I wouldn't necessarily say a troublemaker, but I definitely had my moments. And of course, with my brother, me and my brother and a couple of friends, we actually had like I don't want to say it's a film troupe, but we made videos way back when YouTube was in its infancy. And we had like a little bit of acting and a little bit of like script writing type stuff. So I was kind of interested in that field, sort of passively, I guess. It's like a hobby. But nothing real formal, right? Nothing like properly, like you go to a theater and, you do this and you have a director, nothing like that.
Okay.
Like that.
Did it ever interest you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely enjoy it. So
yeah, I would have liked to have seen Cub on stage. I did, because I did do theater as a kid, and
nice.
it was a very different experience. And it just it flexes a lot of different components inside us that we didn't know were there until you're put on a stage with the lights in your face and you can hear the audience and everything. It brings out a different level of confidence if you allow it to happen.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'd be a nervous wreck. Like, I'm happy being behind the computer screen where people aren't, I'm not like seeing the people staring at me right then and there, Like, it's kind of nice to know that it's recorded and I just put it out there. So we're starting to dig a little bit into your childhood, your personal life. You mind if we keep digging, find out who Cub is, the off-camera Cub? Okay,
yeah.
I mean, we didn't talk about your name, your Minecraft name. We just kind of mentioned it, Cubfan, right?
Right.
We just assume that's because you are a sports fan and you live in the Chicago area and the Chicago Cubs are a baseball team.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I was back when I started when I made my YouTube account, I was 16 years old and I was thinking, what do I like? Chicago Cubs, Cub fan. And I typed that in, taken. Cub fan 1, taken. Cub fan 2, taken. So I was just like, finally, okay, let's just put in a random number, 135. And it went through, and that's it.
No
way. 135 ever since.
The 135 has no bearing on anything in your life?
No bearing at all. No bearing whatsoever. Just a random number I chose back in high school, and it stuck with me.
Yeah, that's great.
That is amazing. That is amazing, because I really thought the 135 had some sort of significance.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So he just lost patience. The most patient man in the world lost patience at 2. And you very well could be Cub fan 3.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, that's great. So, into the Chicago Cubs, are you still a fan of the
Yes.
Cubs?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have an uncle who lives up in Wrigleyville area, or did live in Wrigleyville for a while. So I got to go to a ton of Cubs games as a kid. Back when there was Sammy Sosa and Mark Pryor and those guys back in the early 2000s. And I followed it. I still follow it occasionally. I'm not as big of a diehard fan as I once was, perhaps, but I still follow them every once in a while.
That's cool. Yeah. So were you yourself an athlete in school?
Yes. So I played basketball throughout most of like middle school time frame. So went on like a traveling team, traveled around the state and played, in various cities throughout the state. And
Wow.
then, yeah, eventually went to golf and got really competitive in golf for my high school team. Did all that
Yeah,
type of stuff.
we got a chance to see that firsthand
Well,
in
that-
Top Golf in Vegas
That
last year.
shocked
Yes.
me. That
Yes.
dude, Cub, you shocked me. I did not see that coming. We went to Top Golf in Vegas we were at TwitchCon, and we, I'm not a very good golfer, and you're not a very good golfer.
No.
We just putt around, but Cub walks up with all the humility of what Cub is. And I guess it's my turn to take a swing at this, and he crushes that ball. And it is an absolute sniper shot, just straight down. I'm just like, what did I just witness? And you were so consistent and so good. And that's when I got to learn that you had a legitimate background in it.
Yes. Yeah. So I played several years. I think all 4 years of high school. I think I played on the school team. And we went to the state tournament, all that stuff. So we were pretty good. We had a good team, but yeah, spent a significant amount of time on the golf course. Just a very relaxing environment and great sport. Takes a long time to learn, and it's impossible to master, but it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it.
That's cool, man.
It's I've always wanted to be good at golf, and I think it may never happen because I am the guy that can swing and hit it 300 yards and then swing and miss the ball entirely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have no idea, like how the level of consistency just blows my mind with some of this stuff. Did you play before high school and you were good already going in, or did you start in high school?
I actually started in high school. When Tiger Woods was first coming up, that's
Yep.
sort of when I got into it. And like, that's sort of the Tiger mania. I was kind of caught up in that.
Oh, wow.
And I had a friend took me to the course one day and I just fell in love with it. So that was how I started.
Wow. So did you quit basketball to focus on golf then?
I did. Yeah. I did
Yeah.
quit basketball to focus on
Okay.
golf. Yeah. So I basically went from, in the 90s was Michael Jordan and then right into Tiger Woods.
Jordan to
Just following
Woods.
whoever's popular at the time.
I was surprised your screen name wasn't Jordan Woods.
Right.
Could have been Jordan Woods 135.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad name. Somebody's picking it right now.
There you go.
they
It's
are.
already created.
Yeah.
So when you played
There you go.
basketball, because I played basketball, I dabbled
Yeah.
in high school. What position did you play?
So I played shooting guard.
Okay.
In middle school.
Nice.
So I was never quite good enough to like get consistent minutes. I was like with like the fifth or sixth guy off the bench,
Yeah, same here.
But I could shoot. I was a shooter. So I like to think if I would have kept with it, I could have gotten a little bit better with my handles and
Yeah, let's see.
I was really
Chicago
basically a
guy.
3
Could have
and
been the
D.
next Steve Kerr. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
That's
I also
cool,
was I got really into fitness in college, like around like college and late high school. So I got really, really fit. I was into like P90X, if you ever heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I've
did that whole
puked that
program.
program before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough one. So I've done some of that as well in terms of like athletic things. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned college. What'd you go to college for?
So I went to college for astronomy and physics, actually.
Okay.
So very math intensive programs and, studying the stars and, basically applying math to the real world with physics and stuff. So yeah.
Knew you were into that quite a bit because
Yes.
that's part of the reason why you weren't able to make it to the fundraiser in Detroit was because you were following
Yes.
the path of totality with the eclipse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that was
Yeah.
so cool. I do remember when we were in Vegas for that TwitchCon. That was my second time meeting you. The first time was in 2016. It was very, very brief, but this was the first time I got to actually kind of spend some proper time with you. And you and I had a good moment. That is one of my favorite memories today. We were just sitting there in the lounge, and it was kind of a cool down time. And I said, Cub, tell me about yourself. And he said, what do you want to know? And so I started asking him some questions. I asked about the college question. That's when I learned that you were into astronomy, and you and I just started to talk about astronomy in general. And we had this good moment where we were talking about the vastness of the universe, right? It was kind of great because everybody's in this moment, everybody else ceased to exist. It was just Cub and Skizz having a good moment. And I said that the vastness of the universe is something that I think we're not really geared to understand and really get our heads right. You said, I agree. And I said, however, what's interesting is that it's so vast and so large that it's almost insignificant again, because it's gotten so big that when it comes down to it, the fact that two people can have the conversation that you and I are having right now, I would venture that's bigger than the universe itself. The fact that we can do what we're doing. And you said, yeah. And then he clapped me on the back. He's all, yeah, man. This is like such a good moment, man.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, those conversations are great to have.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta, it's a tough concept to wrap your head around, you know, the entire universe.
Yeah.
As you said, is insanely vast, but yeah, it's very special. Like with astronomy, you sort of get humbled instantly, right? Because the distances and the scales are so grand.
Yep.
So I think that helps to put things into perspective, like not only like in life, but also like with relationships and, you know, things that may happen, good or bad in your life. It helps to sort of
Yeah.
get those into context. And
Yeah.
make those a little bit, you know, easier to handle,
Yes.
or put those
Yes.
in a little bit of different frame.
Every
Yeah.
time I think I'm dealing with a problem, I pull my eyesight back a little bit and I pull it up into the sky and deep. And if you go high enough, it's frightening. It is frightening, especially with the new telescope, to realize that at this point, our galaxy is barely a speck of dust.
Yeah.
And that's just insane. You know,
Yeah.
like that's
Right.
so I'm
Yeah.
just, my brain's like, Skizz, just stop thinking about it, man. You're never going to get it. And it's torturous, but it makes me realize all the problems I think I have are literally nothing, you know?
Literally nothing. Do you remember that scene in Men in Black with the marbles?
Oh, God.
Do you
Oh, yeah.
remember that scene? That it's kind
I
of
do,
like,
yeah.
that was what
It
they
sort
were
of zooms
alluding
out.
to, right? Like
Yeah.
how minuscule we actually are when in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And that's even what we know of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so
Right.
much more that we don't know.
No.
So that's crazy, man. So your passion for astronomy, has that found its way into the way you play Minecraft or things you've done in Minecraft?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So for instance, one good example of this was in season 5. I built my own nether hub called the Cub Hub, and it was how do I even describe this? So first of all, you fly down a wormhole that sort of puts you in a hypnotic state.
Ugh.
Then you fly into what I called the galactic plane, which was a surface of glass, and you're looking down on what I made as like a pixel art of the Whirlpool galaxy below you. And you have like a planet that's like literally like above you. Like you're looking up at the planet with like animals and stuff like on the surface of that planet.
Wow.
And then there's a few things like I put like stars in the background, right? Sprinkled throughout. Sort of end rods recessed into black concrete for the star effect. And there was like a UFO there. I think there was a Tesla Roadster in there as well, because that had just launched into space and stuff. So, yeah, definitely a heavy influence on things that I've built. I think I've also built a few of the Falcon Heavy rockets and like satellites and things throughout. I think in season 6, I built a Concorp satellite that monitored the battlefield from a distance
Yep, I
with
remember
like
that.
end crystal inside. So very detailed builds, but yeah, it definitely does come into play quite a bit with
That's cool.
yeah, with my
You
my
mentioned
builds and
Concorp, and it just started bringing back some memories. Concorp, you were kind of like, I want to say a bad guy, you know, I'm air quoting, but like you played this, you know, at least from some of the viewers' perspectives anyway, you were kind of like the bad guy team on the server. How was that? Because typically when we're playing roles in this world, right, the audience sometimes will get a little too emotionally invested, and it's hard to kind of play the villain role sometimes because they you know, they're so against the villain, you know. That's typically how it works. You're rooting for the hero typically, right? Not the villain. But that season you found yourself more in the villain role. Tell me about what it was like playing that, and how did you handle did you get any backlash from the audience because of that?
Yeah, a little bit of backlash. I think anytime you play a villain or a bad person or a bad guy, so to speak, you get a little backlash. But for the most part, you know, we tried to play. So myself and Scar were both Concorp. Unfortunately, during that time, Scar got kind of sick, so he didn't really have too much of a role throughout most of the of season 6. But basically, what I tried to do is I tried to play both sides equally. You know, try to be a bad guy to this side and a bad guy to this side, so it ends up being sort of canceling out. So you get that sort of, playing both sides, so you always come up on top mentality, right? So that's kind of what I try to do. I think that worked out okay.
Yeah, you kind of have to, like, when you're playing a villain role, like put some sort of playful spin on it to make it so that it's more tongue in cheeky,
more jovial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely did that. I remember Concorp. You guys had merch and everything. You guys went all out. It was
Yeah,
great.
we had merch, we had shirts, we had towels, cups, a whole bunch of, everything. Yeah,
So
everything.
cool. And you were like the weapons dealers too, because that was the season of the Civil War where we had Team Star against Team G, I think. And that's where the rap came from. The Hermit Gang rap came from smack talking about the war stuff that was going on. But Concorp was kind of like out of it on the sidelines. Like, you guys were like basically like the play-by-play announcers.
Yeah,
The actual like battle, right?
We did. I think Impulse and we both did like an interview during the battle. Like, I came over as like a field reporter or something like that.
So what's happening now? Well, they tried to kill me, so I should probably go.
How are you feeling in this moment?
That was
great.
a fun time, man. That was such a fantastic idea, and props to you, because, like I said, sometimes we get a little nervous playing the villain role because we know that it's going to involve some backlash. But you did a great job of it, and it's a memorable thing, and kind of like brand that you guys created as well for the season, which was really cool.
Yeah, we tried to keep it light and jovial, while also being the best company to ever exist. And that could ever exist. So, I think we succeeded in that as well.
Some may still argue Sahara, but you had,
I don't think so. That place never worked. It never worked.
Yeah, Iscal's Redstone was garbage. Yeah.
Jeez. Shots fired.
No, it's because Grian threw a rotten potato or something in the system and just completely broke his whole system.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
I remember that.
No, it's been fun. You actually joined Hermitcraft. We'll go back to joining Hermitcraft. I think you joined Hermitcraft with a few people. I think you came in as part of the biggest addition that we've ever had to the server from a member count standpoint. Tell us what it was like transitioning from. Because you were on Kingdom Craft, right? SMP before Hermitcraft. And then you got invited to Hermitcraft with a bunch of Kingdom Craft members. What was that moment like? How did that whole thing feel for you?
That was kind of a surreal moment, yeah. So, as you said, I was on Kingdom Craft. I think it was me, Iskall, Ren, Scar, and Wells all came over together in Season 4. And so, that was quite a transition, because on Kingdom Craft, we played sort of very collectively, like everyone was all together. And then on Hermitcraft, you're suddenly thrust into this world, bunch of people you kind of know of, I sort of knew you and Tango and Asuma a little bit, but not really too many others at the time. So it was a very different transition, because you guys played like every person has their base, and you're in this one section of the world, and then you build that up, and it was less collective, I guess, building, and more like individual builds, but together, if that makes sense. So it was quite a transition. It was actually a tough time, but having other people like Wells and Iskall and Scar and Ren, those guys all together in like the same area, more or less. We sort of were in our own blue district, I think, over there. That was really helpful to have people that we had played with previously nearby.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, not only like play style adjusting, but having to get to know all the hermits that have been there and you didn't know so well. So it was probably nice, having some people that you knew to kind of to help get through some of that. Like Skizz and Joel, they came in. I mean, you had a pretty long history with like knowing a lot of the hermits and stuff, but imagine you didn't have that, and you also didn't have somebody that joined with you that you knew. Like I could see how that would be like pretty anxiety inducing to have to like not only learn this kind of new play style that you're not used to, but like get to know everybody all in one go. And then there was like many of you that came in, so it was like happening with everyone. It was just it was a crazy time, but it worked out really well. I think I'm really glad that we did that. If we just brought in one or two of you, I mean, that wouldn't have felt very good, because what would have happened to Kingdom Craft. But you all came in and just brought such an awesome like injection of energy into the server with like just seeing new faces and meeting new people was great. I remember that time was so much fun.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I don't know, Skizz, have you had similar like feelings since you've joined this season, like with you and Joel joining?
I don't. I'm a weird dude. I don't get real nervous or anxiety ridden. I just don't. I have it. It was a lot of what I actually expected a lot. I expected to be pretty overshadowed by people's skill sets and stuff like that. And I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. The things that people are building is very daunting to me because like I look at like what Joel's doing, right? And his city that he has built. I'm like, gun to my head, I couldn't pull this off. You know what I mean? And that's one of those things where I'm like, I just got to be at peace with it. So I don't feel any sort of jarring nature outside of what I kind of already knew was coming. You know what I mean? And
Gotcha.
but
Yeah.
I also I get along with everybody. And I feel like I genuinely feel like there's not a single member of the Hermitcraft server that I could not collab with. I think you put me with anybody and I'm going to make it work and it's going to be great, you know? And so that's
I think that helped me as well. Like having such high quality Hermitcraft members, like having everybody on the server being amazing at pretty much all aspects of Minecraft. Like when I came onto the server in season 4, like that was the case. You could go up to anybody and they were like, "Hey, you want to do this thing? I'm doing this right now. Let's go."
Yeah.
And it's like, well, off we go. You know, we're off to the races. So that was really helpful for me. Like having so many awesome people on the server, like makes it easy to make videos and make streams fun.
Yeah. Everybody's just so lovely. Like I had a thing with Beef in the beginning that we were doing, you know, doing the salmon stuff. It just mixed well. Did some stuff with Doc. I had this collab with False a couple weeks ago that was just out of the blue, no warning. I just started picking on her while she was streaming, and then she joined me to go pick on Doc, and it was just the funnest collab. You know what I mean? I feel like my skill set is to adapt to whoever's in front of me and make it work to the best of my abilities, and it's always such a genuinely good time. You know?
Yeah.
Bit of yes and stuff going on there. Like you never shut down an opportunity because you had your mindset on something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Throw anything at me and I'm going to run with it to the best of my abilities. And I think a lot of that goes back to theater because theater was as a kid doing theater. So a lot of the exercises that we did were based on no briefing of any kind, go, you know, and you just gotta just let all that apprehension, you got to check it at the door and just give it a go. And sometimes you embarrass yourself. And when you embarrass yourself, the first thing you learn is, hey, look at me. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. That was no big deal, you know, and you're just able to move past it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You got to learn to basically do that. Cause that's a hard step to take that step where you can just not really care what you look like and you just go for it, you know?
Yeah. One thing that's nice is like, we're all comfortable with each other. So we know that if you know, when you're doing improv, sometimes you're going to swing and miss. It's just the way it is. Yep. And and we know each other well enough now to know like, oh, if I swing and I really miss, they're going to take care of me, you know, unless they're streaming and it's just out in the ether already, but you know, they're going to take care of me. They're not going to make me look stupid by including this total whiff. You know, that I would be embarrassed about, you know, or maybe they will because it's fun content.
Sometimes they will.
You know, if it really did, you know, if it really was bad, you know, you're safe. But no, it's been a good group, and I'm looking forward to seeing how much longer we'll go as a group because we just did that panel of streaming for over 10 years as a group, and I'm seeing more and more people kind of talk about like. The crazy thing about Hermitcraft is like how long they've lasted and how they're all still very good friends and care so much about each other and take care of each other. And I think that, you know, that's something that you don't find that often.
Yeah, I agree.
Out in this space, you know, the groups of content creators that can stay together. But for some reason, Hermitcraft has found the right combination, the right, you know, ingredients to make this amazing thing happen. And it begs the question, how much longer can we go? You know,
I've thought about it and then I instantly stopped thinking about it because I was like, all I'm going to do is enjoy the moment. You know what I mean? I just want to live today. I don't want to constantly think about tomorrow. So I'm just enjoying every bit of it, you know?
Yeah. Yes. But Cub, I want to ask, what's next for you?
Well, I got a lot of stuff coming up. So basically, I got a new series on my channel called The List, which is basically a series of I guess ideas about Minecraft, things that I think could be in the game. So I'm going through the list. There's over 100 items there. So
Wow.
making that series happen.
Nice.
That's been a fun series.
Please
A lot
put
of
my
fun making
enchanted
those,
boats on there. Please put my enchanted boats on there.
Sorry, Skizz, list is full.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, list is full. List is but yeah, then doing some more Hermitcraft. Also, I've been doing some Satisfactory recently. I don't know if you guys have played that. That's an awesome
I
game.
saw a lot of the hermits were
I've
playing
heard great
together.
things about it. I've never played it.
Yeah.
I've been loving it. It's sort of like Minecraft, but in the future, right? You have all these advanced machines and stuff, and you just keep on making more and more and more stuff for your factory.
That's cool.
So,
yeah, I could get into that game maybe too much. That's why I
Yeah,
stayed away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's really fun. It's a great game. So yeah, those types of things. Doing more of that, and I want to do more in-person stuff. So I've been going to Twitch cons recently. I think sort of the future of content creation and YouTube, Twitch is all in-person things, more or less. So that's what I've been trying to get into.
Cool. Yeah, we loved seeing you.
I'm good. Yeah,
San
that's
Diego.
good news.
That was really cool.
That's because I love hanging out
Yeah.
with you. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
Cub, what I want to know is, we talked about when you were younger and, you were a sports fan, you were into athletics. We learned about basketball and golf, and you were lifting or you were doing fitness stuff for a while there. That just tells me, since you are really naturally good at whatever is laid in front of you, had Minecraft and YouTube not come along and had the world missed out on who Cub is today, what would you be doing today? You were going into astronomy. Like, what is it you're doing today if your YouTube career didn't pan out?
So I was very much into academics when I started doing YouTube. So lots of late night studying, astronomy stuff. So I might have continued in that astronomy field, doing research. I did research in undergraduate school on the Spitzer Space Telescope, studying young stellar objects, which are basically young stars in the Large Magellanic Cloud. So I would probably have continued that track, got on and went on to doing like a master's degree, then probably maybe professorship, maybe a research position, something like that. So probably something in astronomy or physics.
Wow.
Those were probably my two pathways, I guess.
I got to tell you, I've gotten a lot of different answers. And when people talk about what they would have done, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes not so much sense. But Cub, as a professor of physics or astronomy, is there anything more fitting than that?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
That's cool, man. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit better. That's I always find when we have people on, it's just like we always get some extra information that we don't just have in passing. Like you mentioned the conversation while you guys were just sitting there chilling one night. It's like that, but an hour of that. You know, it's really cool, and it makes me just appreciate like how much more there is to all the people, all the guests we've had on than what we see on camera or what we even get to find out about them through our interactions that we have on the servers or wherever. And so I'm looking forward to continuing that relationship and just continuing to do more and more with you. We don't collab enough, you and I. We've done a few things here and there.
Right, we got to do more.
So I'm definitely down to do more in the future. And you've issued a challenge to Skizz. I can't wait to see what he does with that.
Yeah, me
but
too.
You'll have to come
I'm
check
excited
up
for
on him. You guys are all part of this po thing now, so you can bust each other.
We got plans on that too. We have some good plans for the Pope.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to see you come along. But hey, thank you so much, Cub, for joining us today. I know internet was struggling just a little bit, so people might have seen a little bit of hitchiness in the video, but hey, it was absolutely fine. Your voice came through
Audio
loud and
came
clear.
through beautifully, and that's what matters, was really getting your thoughts and your insight, because like you just said, Impulse, sometimes you think you know it all, but when you take the chance to get them to know them a little bit better, you just end up discovering things that are just so fascinating. And Cub, I love that I get to work with you, dude. I absolutely love it. And I'm so glad.
I love working with both you guys as well. So
it's great. I'm so
feelings
glad.
mutual.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're in my life, man. And I'm looking forward to more shenanigans with Rub-a-Dub Cub in the future. And again, thank you so much for giving us your time and being on the show. It's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
Good luck in the future on the show. I love this podcast. So yeah, glad to be on it. And
thanks.
take care.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Thank you, brother.